Hi again, guys. Today I'm going to show you how we make our custom cure jars with logos on them. We've had a few of you guys comment on how we got them or how we made them. We make these at home using a few simple things that you might have or might not have, but I'll give you two methods. One you can do very cheaply, all by yourself. One, if you do happen to have a plotter and a sandblaster, that's how I make them. But we'll show you two different methods and how we do it. So let's jump into it. First thing, we start with the jars. You can pretty much use any smooth jar that you can find. We found these at Hobby Lobby for about $10 a piece. They have a lot of great jars for really cheap. So just hit up some local stores, find some cool jars that you like, and then pick them up. Next up is the fun part. This is where you get to design your logo that you're going to put on your cure jar. I already had a logo that I designed in Adobe Illustrator. I like using Illustrator because it's all vector work, and because I do use a plotter to cut these out on the vinyl, you need the line work to tell the plotter where to follow, basically like a 2D CAD file. So if you're using something like Illustrator, everything you design in there is vector art, which means it's all line work, so it's easy for the plotter to follow. What you can't do with stuff like this is stuff with gradients or multicolor. Really, everything is going to be a single color, so kind of keep your design simple. Alternatively, if you don't have software or a plotter, you can just get vinyl sheets from the hobby store and then just use an X-Acto knife. You can either draw on top with a marker and then cut it out like a stencil, but you're basically making a stencil with the vinyl to cover the glass, and then we're going to go ahead and put our logo on. After we send our logo file to the plotter, it will cut it out in the size and shape that we've selected. And then we're gonna go ahead and take that vinyl and then we're gonna reverse peel it. So typically on a decal, you would peel off or weed out all the excess outside vinyl. But for this, since we're making a stencil, we're actually gonna peel off all the inside spots. And that's gonna leave just a mask that we can place on our jar that's going to leave the glass exposed that we want to put our logo on, and then protect everything else from any kind of harm or scratching. After you have your vinyl logo prepped, go ahead and put a piece of masking over top. This is going to allow you to remove your stencil without the little pieces in between falling off or getting messed up. The masking will hold it until you have it placed on the jar. After everything's ready, go ahead and grab your jar, and then we'll take our stencil, and you want to peel the paper lining off the back slowly. This will make sure that your little pieces don't pop up or come off the masking and stay, so it's all in place. Usually if you peel at a sharp angle, they'll come up evenly with no pieces left behind. After it's all peeled off, go ahead and carefully place your logo on the glass. After you have your logo placed, press it down smoothly to smooth out any air bubbles, and then I like to use like a card or something rigid to go over the top and make sure it's fully stuck to the glass so no air or anything can blast through or get under the cracks. Make sure basically all the edges are fully stuck and sealed so there's no air bubbles. After everything's stuck down good, slowly peel back the masking at a sharp angle, and your logo should remain as a perfect stencil on the jar, ready to put your logo into your cure jar. After we have all the stencils placed and on our jars ready to go, use some extra masking tape or vinyl to cover up and protect any other parts of the glass that you do not want exposed or do not want to be frosted. This is just going to protect it as we put it into the sandblaster, and then we'll go ahead and blast these things, and that's going to etch our logos into the glass. After that, it's just a matter of sandblasting the jars. The masking will protect the glass, but the exposed parts will become frosted. Feel free to pull the jar out and inspect to make sure everything is fully frosted and you've got all the areas. The vinyl should hold and stick on there without flying off. And you just go ahead and even strokes, give it a sandblast, pull it out and check it. Usually only takes a few minutes. Alternatively, if you don't have a sandblaster, you can use what's called a glass etching paste. You can find this at a hobby store. You can find it on Amazon. This is just basically a paste that you can smear over your stencil and then let it sit. It will eat the glass and frost it in the areas that are exposed where the paste is. That's another easy way and an alternative if you don't have a sandblaster. It's relatively cheap for the etching gel, so just check it out. I'll put a link in the description to some that I've used before. It works pretty good, but I think the sandblaster comes out a little bit more quality, and with an etch you can actually feel in the glass. After all the masking has been removed, sometimes I use my X-Acto knife to get some of the pieces that are tiny and stuck on there really good. But after you get everything cleaned off, go ahead and just give it a wash with some water to clean it off. Wipe it down with a paper towel, and as it dries, you'll see that etching really start to pop and look awesome. And that's it, guys. That's how we make our custom jars, and they look awesome. And it's just kind of a cool, unique, fun little craft thing that you can do at home. And it's relatively cheap. You can do this all without a sandblaster and a plotter, just using some vinyl from the hobby store and some glass etching gel. Or if you do happen to have a sandblaster and a plotter or know somebody, they'd probably definitely hook you up and help you make something like this. But it's just a fun, kind of cool little project that you can do. It gives you some kind of unique, cool little curing jars to put your stash in once you're done with harvest. So I hope we sparked some creativity in all of you. If you guys make something cool, please be sure to share it with us, tag it on Instagram, drop a comment below. If you guys have any kind of fun craft projects that you like doing that are cannabis or fun related, definitely drop it below, guys. We love making new stuff, getting creative, having fun. That's what it's all about. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.